Hi, Joni. It's going to be really difficult for me to be objective with pictures of a kid this cute, but I'm going to try. I mean, these are just adorable. I mean, yesterday I opened them up just to make sure everybody got everything in, and I was just rolling laughing. These are so funny. Oh, what a ham, right? And your write-up's pretty good too. My only criticism is just on turning your assignment in. Always make sure that you I'm sorry, I was just laughing at these pictures. Put the write-up in your, just embed it in the discussion forum. It's really nice for me, and this is so picky, I'm sorry, but it's really nice for me to have your write-up open on one monitor and then your images on the other one, and then I can, refer back and forth. It's just easier to make the movie. And I know it probably feels better to just put it all together in one PDF. Sorry about that, I know. Anyhow, so your lighting descriptions are achieving what you set out to do. You've got your key light, camera left, and some secondary or fill light, camera right. It's active. All of your lights are pretty active. Oh no, okay. Sometimes you have a passive fill, and sometimes you have an active fill. Here's your passive fill, just a reflector, and then sometimes you have an active fill. Okay, that makes sense. This is probably passive fill, passive, active. Yeah, this one's the active fill. And then these look like they're both using passive fill because the light's just not as strong or as directional. Here it's a little bit more directional. We have just a few slightly harder shadows, not as it's all soft, which makes sense for the characteristics of your model, but it's not terribly hard. It's anyways, I'm still just laughing at these pictures. Really nice studio setup you've got there. That's working out beautifully for you with the nice big backdrop. And then, your little girl's far enough away from the backdrop where it's beautifully out of focus. It's out of the depth of field. That looks great. Yes, and actually I want to point out that at 1/30th of a second, I really think these came out really nice, and then 1/20th here. I would, usually the cutoff for portraiture is 1/60th of a second. After, at shutter speeds slower than 1/60th of a second, we expect to see some blur or fuzziness, a lack of sharpness because your model's going to be moving and that will be captured on the light-sensitive surface because the shutter is open long enough for it to be captured thusly. And I'm not seeing that here. These are great. I think you probably learned a lot about working with people, and I feel like if you can work with children, and take photographs of children and get their cooperation, or at least find moments when you can get a decent shot, you can shoot anybody. So good for you. Thank you for challenging yourself. And my only other technical feedback is I think that these can have higher exposures, and I know that it would have been difficult. My assumption is that at the focal length you're shooting at, you're going to have a difficult time having a wider aperture, or maybe you just didn't want her to fall out of the depth of field. So that's tough. So what you would do in this case is just bring the lights closer. And I know that's not going to make the kid happy, but you would bring the lights closer because, of course, the closer they are, the stronger they are. And it can get pretty tight, and it'll make your model feel a little claustrophobic, but that's part of the process. But these are beautiful. I really think you did a fantastic job on this assignment. Thank you, Joan.